Now I continue a architectural discussion on the Shahjahanabad Red Fort. And after Khas, Diwane Am, we enter into the area of a palaces. All the palaces meant for personal use, they are existing on the eastern periphery of the Red Fort. The purpose, these were oriented on the eastern periphery in such a way that it looks like river, overhanging the river Yamuna. Yamuna was flowing here, and these palaces were built in such a way that one can easily take the use of Yamuna, and it provides a very picturesque situation or location. On on the southeastern corner, we have a Mumtaz Mahal, palace of the Mumtaz, palace that is known as a view of Mumtaz Mahal. It is existing on southeastern side. This structure is built with white marble, and not totally, but the half of its walls and pillars built with white marble. Rest were built with the brick and lime mortar, and plastered with lime mixed with white cell powder. So it looks like the whole structure is built with white marble. This Mumtaz Mahal is built. This palace known as Mumtaz Mahal is built on a rectangular plan, and it is located on the platform of the red sandstone. Its main entrance has been provided on north side. It is provided on north side, and from north side one can enter into this structure, and interiorly its space is divided into square ways, and the square ways have been built on the basis of these arches. These arches enclose a area, square area, and meaning by it is some sort of the chahartak. And so far as the arches in this structure is concerned, these arches are cusped arches. That is typically a feature of the Shahjahani period. Since the area is divided into square ways, and it consisted of 6 apartments, and these 6 apartments and these areas the ways which created by using these engraved or cusp arches, the inner area is divided into 6 apartments. Each column is having a 4 side, and for all 4 sides there is a spring of a arches and grail arches, and in this way they form a square wedge, because each column supported the spring of 4 arches on 4 cardinal points, and its eastern side is closed in the form of a larger chamber, and on the eastern facade is it, and the eastern wall consisting of closed with a fine perforated screen. Perforated screen. It's an interior view. Now you can easily understand what is square wedge. And on the eastern side, the wall is closed with a fine perforated screen, because eastern side is overhanging on the river Yamuna. Now it's a very beautiful palace, and this palace is providing the architecturally providing the characteristic features of the period of Shahjahan. After Mumtaz Mahal, we moved to the northern side, and then another palace that is known as Rang Mahal. Rang Mahal is a very interesting palace, It was Rang Mahal is also known as Sheesh Mahal. It is situated on it is situated northern side to the Mumtaz palace of the Mumtaz Mahal, and it is built on a platform of red sandstone. It is composed of a large hall, and large hall especially on northern side and southern side is surrounded by the chambers and cloisters. The main hall is having a five arched openings on the west side or and as well as on the east side. And it is known as Sheesh Mahal. Inside this palace, over the walls and ceilings, there is a pieces of the mirror fixed, and rest of the area is painted. I think because of the use of mirror and painting, this palace is also known as Sheesh Mahal. Inner arches all are cusped arches, and eastern wall yani overhanging towards the side of the river Yamuna. It was closed with the it is closed with a perforated screen. Air can enter into it through the from the side of Yamuna, but nobody can. And in the center of this structure, in the center, through its center, a water channel is flowing. A water channel is flowing, and this water channel culminated into this lotus fountain. Again, this type of the lotus fountain is the main characteristic features of the Shahjahani building. And this water channel, which culminated into this font, it is coming from the Sahaburj that is existed on the northernmost point, and a water channel that is coming known as Nahr-e-Behist, and it is culminated. It passes through the center of this palace, and it culminated into the you can say lotus fountain. And after Rang Mahal, on the towards the on the northern side of the Rang Mahal, there is a cluster of palace. This cluster of palace is known as Khas Mahal. In turn, Khas Mahal is composed of four, you can say, small palaces. The cluster of four palaces that together is known as Khas Mahal. These Khas Mahal, in other words, we can say, can be divided into four components. The first component is known as Tashvi Khana. Tashvi Khana is a set of Tashvi Khana is a set of three room, and this three room is facing towards the Diwan-e-Khas. Diwan-e-Khas, this building is existing on the northern side of the Khas Mahal. Tashvir Khana is was being used for the private worship by the emperor. And on behind the Tashvi Khana, there is another component of Khas Mahal that is known as Khwabga. Khwabga means it is a sleeping chamber of the emperor. Again, it's a cluster, it's a combination of the three rooms, and these three rooms exactly existing behind the Tashvi Khana used for a sleeping chamber. And again, another important component of this Khas Mahal is Tosha Khana. Tosha Khana can be identified as a robe chamber or sitting room. It's a long hall to the south of Khwabga. To the south of Khwabga, there is a long hall. Here the walls and ceilings are painted. It's an interior view of the Tosha Khana. Here walls and ceilings are painted, and on the western side of this structure we have a perforated screen that close the entry, and this Toshakhana is covered by with marble screen at the northern end. Means western and northern end was closed, and in the center of this Tosakhana we have a sunk lotus fountain. Again this fountain is connected with the Nehre Bhis that crisscross, yeah, passes through the center of all the palaces, all the mahal existing on the eastern periphery. Okay, this is another view of the Khas Mahal, interior of Khas Mahal. Now you see the paintings which was built, the dados which were built with the marble panels, while above this structure we have so many panels of the blind arches, and so many type of the themes have been used. Each all are painted, and the walls and ceilings are highly painted. And here I would like to emphasize this is a southern side. This is this area I have already told you, closed with marble screen. And on the river side of this Khas Mahal, another structure, river side of this Khas Mahal, another structure that is projected towards the eastern side is the Musamman Burj. This is a Musamman Burj that is projecting towards the river side. This Musamman Burj is a octagonal tower, and Musamman Burj in itself a octagonal tower. It adjoins the eastern walls of Khwabga, and this is a eastern wall, and it was attached with the eastern wall of the Khwabga. It was constructed, its each side is accommodate the arched opening. Arched opening is closed with a perforated marble screen, and you know its central marble screen inside Khwabga's different component, Khas Mahal's different components like Khwabga and Tasbih Khana is separated by a marble screen. Marble lattice was being used to separate the Musamman Burj with Tasbih Khana and Khwabga. And this structure, this Musamman Burj is surmounted by the fluted domes, and fluted domes is crowned with a very heavy inverted lotus petals, very prominent inverted lotus, and above having a crowning element of the colors and finials. This structure is totally built with marble, and it's a characteristic, very important characteristic features of the architectural development during the period of Shahjahan. Meaning by here the Khas Mahal is having a four components: Tasbih Khana, Khwabga and Tosa Khana and Musamman Burj. Musamman Burj is a structure that is projected or is built on the eastern periphery, or that is projected towards the river side. On the northern side of the Khas Mahal, this is a building of Khas Mahal, and on the northern side of the Khas Mahal, there is a structure of the Diwan-e Khas. Diwan-e Khas, a structure is entirely built with white marble. It is a highly ornamented building, It is built on rectangular plan. And it consists of a rectangular central chamber. Rectangular center chamber is surrounded by the cloisters, or in other words, edges of arches supported on the piers. Here pillars have not been used. Here in place of the pillars, piers have been used. Piers is the pillar with masonry. And here arches which these piers supported the arches. Arches are cusped arches, and there is a central chamber, and it is surrounded by the cloisters on all sides, and this cloisters is having a arch supported on the pillars, and in such a way the interior of this structure is divided into 15 ways. Lower part of the pillars are inlaid with floral designs. Lower part of the piers are inlaid with floral design, while upper parts of these piers are gilded and painted. All piers are square. This structure above the arched opening on all sides, having a dropping eaves, and embellished with a heavy dropping eaves. Beyond above the dropping eaves, we have a cornice and railing. Motifs have been used in railings, and in the center of the elevation we have a cornice. All the four corners, this structure is flatly roofed. All the corners of this structure are surmounted by a domed square pillared pavilion. One thing here we keep in mind, this Diwane Khas is also crisscross in the center by the Neher-e-Behist. And in the center, in the central chamber, earlier there was a peacock throne on the marble pedestal, and beyond that we have some very beautiful inlay with a foreign theme. And this structure in itself provides a great architectural embellishment took place under the Shahjahan. And after Diwane Khas, towards on the northern side of Diwane Khas, there is a structure that is a hammam. This hammam is known as Shahi Hammam. This hammam is existing on the Diwane Khas. Are separated by the corridors. Corridors were being used for the movement, and at the entrance we have a two rear flanking rooms, and beyond that we enter into this hammam. And eastern apartment of this hammam is having a fountain basins, and this fountain basins, you can say fountain, and these fountains used for taking the bath. In the center apartment, there is a marble tank, and this center room is used for performing a various stages in the bath. And towards the western, another apartment is western apartment. Western apartment is consisting of a, you can say, the machinery, or rather we can say a heating arrangement. The Mughals, they borrowed this hammam from the Turkey, Central Asia. That is known as Turkish hammam. These hammams were having such type of the mechanism, the inner temperature of the hammam can be maintained through the earthen pipes, that is put inside the walls. And when in the cold season the hot water runs in the earthen pipes, and they cause the raising of the temperature inside the hammam. And these hammams, these three important chambers, one is meant for taking a cold bath, another is for massage, another is for hot bath. And this hammam, that is Sahai, is very beautiful. Its floor is inlaid, and this marble tank is and upper side of this marble tank is highly inlaid with the floral designs. But the difference is that here it was a inlay work, inlaid. These dadoos were inlaid. The theme remained the same, but the quality in case of this hammam is little bit inferior to the dadoos of the Taj Mahal. And this hammam, through this hammam, Nehre-Beast is also passing in the center. This Nehre-Beast remain passing. And how many Rang Mahal, Nehre-Beast, that started from the Shahaburj, and it continued to flow and passes through the hammam, passes through the Diwan-e Khas, passes through the Khas Mahal, and passes through the Rang Mahal. And after hammam on the northern side, we have a Shahaburj, and this Shahaburj is a domeless structure. Shahaburj is a domeless structure, and this domeless structure is used to lift the water from the river Yamuna, and this this Nehre-Beast get feeding of water from the Shahaburj, from the Shahaburj. Another important architectural building important from the architectural point of view is a Sawan Bhadon. These two marble pavilions existing Sawan pavilion here, and these structures are built with white marble. These structure is rather accommodates a pillared cloisters of the engraved or cusped arches, and these pillars are typically of Shahjahani balustrades, and above these arched openings we have a dropping eaves been occupied by the domed pillared pavilion. And this is another, Sawan Bhadon is a two structures, and both are similar in dimensions, symmetrical in dimensions and ornamentations. And northern one structure is provided with a tank, and this tank inside filled with water, and in the center these suits have been placed, niches have been placed, and the water was flowing from tank in such a way it looks like rippling from the outer. And this is a view of the Shahaburj. Now you see this Shahaburj is domeless, and it is the northernmost end of the eastern periphery of red sandstone, having a central pillared pavilion on the both side, having a two rooms, and in front of the rooms we have a pillared cloisters. In the center we have a Bangladar roof, and it is very typical to this structure. Another important structure that is worth mentioning here is a Moti Masjid. Moti Masjid. Moti Masjid, it was built by Aurangzeb, and now you see it is existing on a raised platform, and so far as the proportion is concerned, here we cannot say that there is a proportion. This Moti Masjid was built here. This is a Moti Masjid. It is on the western side of the hammam. It's a very small masjid. It's a built by Aurangzeb. Perhaps it's a mosque personal for the personal use of the Aurangzeb, having a western Livan and in front have a courtyard. Western Livan is divided into central nave and side aisles. Central nave and side aisles are surmounted by the dome, where the dome surmounting the nave is bigger in size and dimensions to the flanking domes. And now you see here there is a compromise was made with the proportion, and this structure, that is Moti Masjid, in no way carrying the architectural accomplishment which took place during the Shahjahani period. Never, no, not at all. Even any all the elements, architectural elements used in these masjid are no way providing the quality of the Mughal architectural development at the zenith. One thing is quite clear here, that these structures are not. Now you see these are the fluted domes of the Moti Masjid. Even the size and shape of the dome is little bit different, though they were the bulbous dome, but the prominence of the inverted lotus was made in such a way that it disturbs the proportion, vertical proportion of the whole masjid. Here, before closing my lecture, I would like to say I would like to discuss some important points. You know, a number of the Charbagh we also found integrated inner space in the inner space of the Shahjahanabad, Charbagh. And you know, it's a characteristic features of the Shahjahani architecture. Now the Charbagh get integrated in the inner side of the palaces. And the same as you can come across in case of the Shahjahanabad. And now another important point which I would like to highlight here, a number of the buildings have been demolished, have been decayed, which were built during the Shahjahani period. Whatever the building, whatever the structure today we come across, these are only the 40%, 50% buildings, and rest of the buildings either destroyed by the during the 1857, or they were decayed later on. They were replaced by the later emperors, which changed the morphological character of this the buildings of the Shahjahanabad. And but still, whatever we got in the fort of Shahjahanabad, including its rampart, wall, moat, all, it provides a very good insight of the Shahjahani architecture. And Shahjahani architecture, and under one thing is quite clear, we try to sum up this lecture by emphasizing Mughal architecture touched the zenith in proportion, in building technology, in decoration, in ornamentation, in layout plan, in space arrangement under the great Mughal ruler Shah Jahan. Thank you very much.